Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a good day and above all else that you are indeed looking after yourselves and one another. Today, ladies and gentlemen, before I get into the topic of what we hope to be another fantastic, insightful episode, I want to welcome back to the channel Bluebeard, otherwise known as Bill Schuster. How's it going, Bill?
Thanks, sir. Wonderful, Armando. Still enjoying this. This is a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing these sorts of shows with kids. Just
Yeah.
again, as I've said before, basically that it's just a couple of friends going back and forth and riffing on some old music we love, and not getting too deep. Just having fun, reminiscing, and hopefully bringing some memories back for you all too, helping
There
you
you go.
reminisce. Yeah,
There you
just a
go.
good
Ladies,
time.
ladies and gentlemen, Bill is referring to tripping through the 70s. We're at the year 1974. Now, what Bill and I have done have picked five songs from the Billboard charts that we remembered from our youth because we're only 2 years apart, believe it or not. And, just,
21.
there you go. Here's the older one. And, yeah. And, songs that brought back memories to us that as we remembered as kids. And hopefully, um, uh, will bring back memories for you. And looking at the list, we talked about this off camera, but looking at the list, we tried to pick songs that from bands that we haven't talked about before. But you know what? What we also noticed was certain songs were repeated on Billboard's lists from like 72 to 74, etc. So we're going to going to do a little bit of editing here and there. We're going to do a little bit of a switch out because we don't like to repeat ourselves. So we are covering the year 1974. Um, and yeah, this is quite the list. So before I will not go first. It was brought up right by my mama. I will pass the mic over to Bill, and he'll give us his number five for 1974.
All right. This is definitely a big one hit wonder here. This is one of those songs. It's a love it or hate it song. I know many people can't stand this thing, have nightmares of it from their younger years. Uh, it's a cover song by Terry Jacks. It's Seasons in the Sun. Wow, 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 wow. There's that sound again, that wow, 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 wow.
Typical.
That basic sound keeps recurring in some of these songs. There's something to that. But yeah, this is one of those this maudlin, sad death songs that the 60s and 70s were rife with these songs where they would just somehow, some way, someone dies in the song, and if it's not too over the top, or even if it is, maybe it makes you feel sad. Maybe if it's too cheesy, it might even make you laugh because it's just too much.
Yeah,
But this one I think hits the sweet spot. It's nice.
yeah,
Not everyone agrees, obviously, but I mean, goodbye, my friend. It's hard to die when all the birds are singing in the sky. It's I think it's a beautiful song. It
yeah,
really
yeah. It has a good sentiment to it. Yeah. No, it
yeah,
does.
and
It
it's
does.
catchy. It's
Yeah, it's catchy. As long as I think it was like a 3 million seller or something.
yeah, it was big.
Oh yeah. And I think his wife Susan Jacks was in the band The Poppy Family. Uh,
Yes.
oh my God. Yeah, another bit of Canadian, Canadiana, got a slice of Canadiana going on there. Um, good one, good one. Um, my first one, or number five, hmm, Tubular Bells, Mike Oldfield, the opening section, which is like 4 minutes. Story goes is that Tubular Bells, two side-long epics, first released for Virgin Records for Richard Branson's fledgling label at the time. The opening section was included on the as part of the Exorcist soundtrack, and the story about that goes is that the movie was done. They were scoring the music for the movie, and this composer brought in this lavish score that he uh, boasted to the director William Friedkin that it was going to change the face of soundtrack music as we knew it, or as they knew it at the time. And they played this, they recorded the score, they played it for him, or they were going to record it, and no, sorry, they were going to record it, and Friedkin was sitting in on the session. Well, they recorded it, they played it for him. Friedkin said, "This is shit. You're fired." He took the tape off the reel, ran out in the middle of the street and threw it at an oncoming car, and the car ran over it. Because that's what I think of this music. You're fired. Get the fuck out of my studio. So they're like, okay, what are we going to do? So he says to the film editor, one of the musical editors, music editors, Tubular Bells by Mike Oldfield. Yeah, go get that album. We'll use that. And they use the opening section of Tubular Bells. Beautiful piece of music, long-winded, I'm sorry. Beautiful piece of music. Mike Oldfield played literally over 95% of the instrumentation on this album. He was 19 when he did it. Um, and it almost broke him because, it took every bit of emotional energy to get this out of him. And he had a hard time doing his next few albums for Virgin, but Tubular Bells, my number five pick from 1974. Long-winded, I'm sorry, but
Very nice. That's 2 years in a row you've had an instrumental. Cool. Yeah, and
mhm,
that song will always be inextricably linked to The Exorcist. There's just no way around
there's
it.
no way around it. Yeah,
They're like just
yeah.
um, all right. My number four. Okay, this one brings back definite childhood memories. My name is Bill, but when I was younger, until I was say 10, 11 years old, I went by Billy. There are two bands that had a hit. I'm thinking, uh, I'm not looking at the Paper Lace version. I'm looking at the Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods version of Billy. Don't be a hero. Don't be a fool with your life. Do 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 do. Yeah, it's an anti-war song, which was perfect at the time. Of course, the U.S.
Ah,
involvement in
ah,
Vietnam was starting to wind down, but it was still
yeah,
going at that time, and the anti-war movement was huge. And yeah, this fit right in. Even though it was a bit cheesy, it was still
yeah,
very effective. There's at the end, after the main characters died in the war, spoiler if you haven't heard it, this is another one where somebody dies.
yeah,
Uh, his love at home gets a letter from the government uh, saying how she should be proud he died that way, but he was a hero. And then the last line is, I heard she threw that letter away. That's powerful.
yeah. It is, and you're
That
emotional.
hero shit means nothing. He died for nothing. He I'd
You're
rather
emo-
have him here.
you're emotional right now. I can tell.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Slightly.
yeah. Now, and my dad's a Vietnam veteran also,
Yeah,
so this was his
yeah. It
that
affected
era,
you.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It affected you.
yeah, and it's in for such a on the surface level cheesy sounding song, it is very potent, I think.
Yeah.
Uh, so,
No, it's
and yeah,
true.
that line has always killed me about her throwing the letter away. Just you know,
It's true.
get rid of this crap, bring him back to me.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Great stuff for a one hit wonder, Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods. And yeah, there was a paper lace version also.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know.
But yeah, anyway, the whole point of what I originally was starting to say, I went by Billy, and yeah, the I don't think I said yeah, the all the little girls that I went to school with at this time, I was like first, second grade, 6 years old, maybe seven. They constantly sang this song to me on
Oh,
at
Jesus,
recess
I
out on
get
the
pissed.
playground at school.
I get
It was
pissed. Okay,
inescapable.
yeah.
I didn't grasp the meaning at that time. I was too young to really get the full picture, but
Yeah, I
It's
get
locked
it.
into my head. These little girls singing that song to me.
I get
Billy,
it.
don't be a hero. So
I get it 100%. I get it. All right. This is my next one is a switch out. We're going with Killer Queen from Queen. Pop confection, rock confection at this pop rock confection at this point in time. This was their breakout single in America and North America, hit number 12 on the US charts, number 2 on the UK charts, only held off number 1 by David Isaacs and uh, Gonna Make You a Star, I think it was called. I Want to Make You a Star. Uh, this was a double A side with Flick of the Wrist on side 2. Both fantastic tracks. Sonically, this is Queen stretching out. Roger Taylor said they had a bit of a no coward feel to it. With the the finger snaps at the beginning, the piano being played on two different pianos. I think it was a grand piano and a Django piano that were used for two different octave ranges. Um, the guitar parts were recorded later because Brian May was in the hospital dealing with an ulcer that he had to get fixed. And according to him, the original version was a lot heavier than what was released. So he walked in, he heard what he was listening to, what they were doing, and goes, "This is all wrong. We got to redo it." And added in his guitar, and it's a song about a high class call girl that that Freddie Mercury wrote about on a Saturday night, and he wrote this in about 20 minutes. And he had this ability to write music really quickly and lyrics really quickly, but he had to be alone when he did it. He had to be cordoned off alone, in his room, wherever, and just banging out and working it. And it was a classic track, and it was all over AM FM radio at the time. And it's my number 4.
love it. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with Killer Queen for sure. That's yeah, an all-time favorite. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
um, and it's kind of cool that Brian of all people, who he has a reputation as, I guess, a rocker more
yeah.
in Queen, even though some of the evidence would go against that. Then that he would say, "No, this is too heavy. Let's redo it."
Originally, he thought when he heard it, he thought, "Are we selling ourselves as something a bit lighter than Seven Seas of Rye and Keep Yourself Alive and Liar and all that?" But when he did hear it, he could hear the potential for it, the hit, and and he said very quickly, he said it was something that they desperately needed, to get a hit. As he put it, they were all sitting around in bed sitters at the time, poor as poor can be. And yeah, it is a classic. It is a classic. So, your next one?
All right. Number three. All right. He makes a return 2 years after Rocket Man. Yeah, it's Elton John again. I had three songs under consideration that Elton put in the top 100 for 74, but I had to go with Benny and the Jets. This song to me kind of is the glam rock song. It's in everything about the glam rock
Yeah,
movement. It's almost stereotypically encapsulated in this song, and it's just so well recorded.
yeah.
And yeah, I just
Even those
love the
notes
opening.
in
That
the piano
dun,
that dun,
it's dramatic.
those
That slow dun,
it's
dun,
plodding.
dun.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
very yeah. It's yeah. Those chords, those dramatic chords, like yeah, on the piano. Yeah, and even that fill, the little piano fill, dun 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 dun
Oh yeah.
dun dun. It's like
Yeah. That man does not get enough credit as just a great piano player.
yeah. I need a cigarette. And the first time I heard that was on the original Elton John's Greatest Hits. Um,
Each time I
but
heard it that I remembered was on that Lad Hooker compilation of Elton John's greatest hits.
okay,
So I'm sure I had undoubtedly heard it with my parents playing it before that. It just hadn't registered.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Sorry.
yeah. No, it's
Lad
fine.
Hooker makes a return appearance.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. It's just Hooker. Okay, there we go. All right, good one. Good one.
Ironically, if you were just talking about the high class call girl and Killer Queen. So hey, there you go.
There you go. There you go.
Hey folks, we went off the rails. At
Yeah,
least I
no,
have.
we can't save this episode. No. Okay. My next one is number three is "Help Me" from Joni Mitchell, from Court and Spark. Uh, Fantastic track. This is where she started to go into more of uh, her her jazz fusion kind of vein. Um, but you can still hear like the pop element, folk pop element on this track. And it's just a beautifully crafted song. And the other songs on the album, Raised on Robbery, which she does all the harmony vocals on that track. But this song is just pure perfection confection in terms of a pop rock folk kind of a track. Beautifully delivered vocals, richly done, just textured and very a lot of dynamics going on in this song. And there is only one, and there will only ever be one Joni Mitchell. Thank Christ for that. And we are blessed to have this um, in our music, in our consciousness in terms of pop music and rock music. So yeah,
I did not pick Help Me, but I really wanted to. So I'm glad you did. It was on my very close to making the list of, yeah,
yeah,
it was like right outside my final seven.
yeah,
Yeah, that is a perfect pop song. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it's probably her purest pop moment ever. I mean, that's probably her
it,
biggest
though,
stream.
but the way she does the lyrics is like, I can't even do like "help me," like I can't even because I can't sing, but it's done very in a very kind of lilt kind of a way. You know what I mean? Like very sort of whimsical. Like
Very relaxed.
yeah, but she kind of the way she goes up and then down again in terms of the vocal range,
Yeah.
like the curve that she does, like I, I must sound like I'm an idiot the way I talk, but I'm telling you what I'm hearing, ladies and gentlemen, when I hear the track, um, and it's done very beautifully. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah, nobody can really mimic her voice. She has a
no,
very unique
I know,
sound.
and if you try, shame on you. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. Uh, let's
You're number
see.
two.
Number two. Okay. Number two is one that maybe should have been my number one. Um, it originally wasn't on my list, and I'll tell you why here in a couple minutes. Um, it is the return of Paul McCartney and Wings, and this is Band on the Run. Uh,
Okay.
this is kind of right there, a contender along with maybe Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey for Paul's biggest post Beatles everything but the kitchen sink epic.
Yeah.
It has so many cool parts. It's so fun to sing along with. I remember Stacy and I used to play the Rock Band, Guitar Hero games with our friends of ours about 15 years ago, and this was one of the songs on one. We loved it. They all hated it. They thought it was boring as hell. You guys were wrong. Band on the Run rules.
Okay. Cool.
um,
Cool.
okay, so yeah, I mean, this I don't know. It's a contender for Paul McCartney's single greatest solo song.
Yeah.
If you consider it solo, or if you consider it Wings, it's kind of interchangeable. Frankly,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
I
not going to
mean,
get into that debate though. That's not really what we're here for today. But
yeah. But I mean, you can't argue to Denny Lane's um, contribution
no,
to
or
what he
Linda for that
or
matter. And
Linda. Yeah. even though she really didn't want to be there. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's that's a classic. That's a classic. My God. Yeah. Um, my number two, ladies and gentlemen, is The Night Chicago Died from Paper Lace. I
There's Paper Lace.
just love this song. I'm like, it's very like it's a storytelling song, right? But it's just uh it's catchy as all get out. There were wasn't this redone by another band um
Probably.
in the States? Because there were two songs that were done. Both done by Paper Lace. One you mentioned,
Yeah, Billy, don't be a hero.
Lily Don't Be a Hero, and then The Night Chicago Died, I think. But I like the Paper Lace version. I really, really do. I think it's fantastic. And it's a good slab of pop,
It is.
and it's infectious. You know, lyrics like I heard my mama cry, I heard the Pray the Night Chicago died, like, glory. I mean, like, what the I'm like, and I'm like, what am I hearing here? And it's so good, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's good. It's a good song. It brings me back to like to that simple mindset of a kid, right? And it's I'm gonna get teary-eyed when I think about it right now, but it's great. It's a great song. It's a great song.
It's
Yeah,
another one of those.
Chicago Died. Paper Lace, number two.
We're talking about the death songs. That's a death song too. But in this one, it's not one of the
Yeah,
main
about
characters.
about
It's
the
a
yeah,
hundred cops are dead. I mean,
it's a song about, and it's serious subject matter, about gang warfare and between the gangs and the cops dying and this woman losing her husband and just that whole hardship about it, right? Uh, but melodically, it is so good. I mean, one hit wonder or not, I mean, or kitschy or not, it is good. So
it is. And
yeah,
it has one of those moments like tie the yellow ribbon around the old oak tree and so many of these others where it's uh, when they were worried about the cop dad being one of the cops that died, but then he bursts inside.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm getting choked up again. Yeah, again, it's another one of those.
yeah,
It's so
yeah, and
cheesy,
it's
but
like,
it's so effective. I
oh,
mean, my daddy stepped inside and he kissed my mother's face and all. Jesus,
I'm
yeah.
sure they did a lot more than kiss that one. But I mean,
Oh,
it's a family show. We ain't going to go there. Anyways, but yeah, Night Chicago Died, Paper Lace, my number two from 1974.
great stuff.
Yeah.
Um, all right, now I'm going to tell you why
Uh-oh.
Band on the Run was not originally on my list because I had another self-imposed rule where I was trying not to have the same artist have more than one song in a year.
Okay.
But I finally decided I could not leave out Band on the Run. I just couldn't do it. So I took out Ricky Don't Lose That Number. Just spoiler alert. Yeah. And you know what a Steely Dan fan I am. So there you go. Um,
That's a logic.
so my number one song, it's the other Paul McCartney and Wings song from that year. It's Jet.
Okay.
My God, I love this. It rocks. This is Paul McCartney the rocker. I mean, this is almost like the sequel to Helter Skelter or something. I mean, and his vocal on this, he just tears it up. And even though I may not be able to sing it as well as I used to, I guarantee I will try every time this song comes on. Even if I'm at work and the people around me have to suffer. Suck it
Yeah.
up, folks. You're
Yeah.
going to hear me singing Jet.
Yeah, it's like me trying to hit that F sharp note that Roger Taylor hits on Bohemian Rhapsody, like, in the operatic section. I'm not doing it. Okay. But no, it's a fantastic song. Very
Yeah, so
dramatic.
yeah, and these are back to back on the Band on the Run album too. I
Yeah.
mean, these are the openers,
Yeah.
Band on the Run and Jet. So
1-2 punch.
yeah, killer. amazing
Yeah.
opening. So yeah, Jet
Yeah.
is my number one song. And a little personal trivia: back in 1982, uh, my parents split up, and me and my mom moved back to Illinois from California, and I went to the local library and checked out some records, including singles. And I made my very first mixtape. And the second song on it after Beautiful Scarlet by Rare Bird was Jet. So me and this song go way back. So
I can
literally
imagine.
the second song ever on my first mixtape.
Yeah,
So
I can imagine.
had a lot of history with it.
That's cool.
You will?
It's cool. No, it's good. You're freezing a little bit, but we'll take care of
You
that.
are too.
Yeah. My number one for 74 is another instrumental, Love's Theme from Barry White and the Love Unlimited Orchestra.
Nice.
My sister Anna bought this single, and I just remember the beautiful strings and just the lush horns and just the overall, you know, uh, intro, like the swirling intro of the strings, and just a beautiful, lush piece of music and arrangement. And it was written as far back as 1965 by Barry White. So uh, just a
Wow.
good slab
Not
of
know that.
pop perfection. Hmm? Sorry?
So yeah, I didn't know it was that old, that it had been around that long in his yeah,
Yeah,
repertoire there.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's I associate that song with like ice skating,
yeah,
and I'm thinking, was it not used as a theme for a soap opera in particular? I know that it's right there in my head, unless I'm just making up false memories here.
I don't
Either
think so,
way,
but
yeah, it's a great,
yeah,
so smooth. And
released on
you
20th
usually
Century
think of
Fox
Barry White.
Records too. So yeah, I mean, you remember those record companies that were back in the 70s that no longer exists, like 20th Century Fox and Bell Records that became Arista Records and stuff like, oh yeah, amazing, amazing. So yeah, that's my number one. I've always loved that song. I've always loved that song. And it's just like it takes you away, like the use of French horns and stuff. It's just majestic and beautiful and epic and just lush and like motherfucker. Like, oh my God. I mean, it's timeless.
It is.
I can't, I'm
I
getting
mean,
emotional.
Barry. He's
It
famous
takes,
for his voice, but he didn't even need his voice on that song.
it's innocence. To me, it represents innocence.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Okay. I'm not gonna get emotional right now. Okay. Um, your I'm not joking. Whew. Your
All right.
first honorable mention.
My first honorable mention is this is a two-hit wonder here in the States. They had one hit this year and another hit in '83. Pretty far apart, almost a decade for their two big hits. This one is another one of those bands that was redone by a hard rock band in the late '80s. In this case, White Lion, who did kind of a crappy generic version of Golden Earrings Radar Love. But
Okay.
the original is badass and one of the greatest driving songs
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah. You just sort of pick up speed as you're driving when you hear this.
Yes.
You accelerate.
Oh
Oh yeah.
man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hands wet on the wheel, the voice in my head that drives my heel. My baby calls, I need you here. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That Barry Hayes vocal is killer on this song. It just has such an insistent groove. Yeah.
Yeah.
Radar Love. X, yeah. Don't waste time with I like White Lion, all right, but their version was pointless of this song. Stick with the
There are
original.
some songs that don't need to be covered. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They don't. Um, my first honorable mention is Jet, McCartney and Wings,
Nice.
for the same reasons that that Bill said. Very epic. Like some of the singles that McCartney released with Wings, they had like different sections, like an intro, and then it go into the main part of the song, and then like an outro. Um, and this is one of them. Just good heavy pop song. Melodic as all get out, and yeah, it's great. It's great.
Awesome.
Uh,
Well,
See, it's hard for anyone else. Like if I mention something, mention a song that you're going to pick, or vice versa, it's hard for us to sort of build on what you've said or what I've said because we've already said it. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, we're about to do it again.
Okay, go ahead.
You copied mine. Now I'm going to copy yours. My second honorable mention is Paper Lace with The Night Chicago Died.
Oh,
So, yeah, we already went in depth in that. Yeah, great
glory
song.
be. No, that's not it.
Yes,
Oh my
I
God.
heard my mama cry.
Oh my God. And those
Yeah.
thumping drums, that drum pattern, like boom, boom, boom. It's just like,
And the siren coming.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like, oh, Jesus. Like,
so perfectly 70s.
yeah, yeah. No, I
Wow.
got it. I got it. All right. My last one is Schlock Galore. My last honorable mention for 1974, ladies and gentlemen, Beach Baby by the First Class. You know what? Schlock is schlock and pop is pop. And this is schlock pop at its best. I'm sorry. It is so classic. The First Class were a production team, a husband and wife production team that wrote the songs, and the husband took the songs into the studio, and they hired vocalists to do the vocals for the track. And um, the original version was something like 5 minutes long, but the because they borrowed, quotes, borrowed um, a musical section from a classical piece. Radio stations cut the song after like the second verse on the as a fade out because they didn't want to get in trouble for playing this song, right? But you can't deny that it's pop perfection at its very best. Okay. And just the layering of the vocals, like on the choruses and the outro, it's amazing. If you can get your hands, sorry, uh, on the original 5 minute plus version, get it. If you don't mind repeats of verses and musical sections, you're in for a treat. It is bloody brilliant. It's pop schlock or schlock pop, but it is that at its very best. And again, sophisticated innocence is the only way I can describe this song in terms of its arrangement and in terms of its delivery and its infectious chorus and melody. It's just brilliant. So, anyways,
Cool.
my last one.
So this year we had two crossover songs. Jet and The Night Chicago Died. So
Yeah.
we haven't had, well, let's see. We had Little Willie there in the back. Did we have anything in 73 other than Little Willie that crossed over? I don't think
I
so.
don't think so. I don't think
So
so.
yeah, that was our so far the year with the least crossovers.
Well,
Our average is two per year though. So
yeah, there you go. There you go. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Tripping through the 70s, 1974. Please put down in the comments below, down there, um, songs that you may remember from your past and songs that also bring back memories and maybe songs that we missed and songs that maybe, that you want to let us know about, you know. Again, we did pick from the Billboard 100 chart, but you know what? It's it's really anyone's game when you want to pick a good song to listen to.
yeah,
So,
just
and
have
yeah,
fun.
these songs did bring back a lot of memories. Is there anything else you want to add before we let these wonderful people go?
No, I don't think so. I think we're rolling along here. Can't wait for the next one.
There you go. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for Bill Schuster, otherwise known as Bluebeard, I'm Armando Venditti signing off. You're never going to live that one down. And please click like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content we've got coming up. We've got more shows coming up. I've got some more shows cooking in the can right now. I'm putting together and well ideas at this point, and I will be back with more shows with Jim Bricker and Ken Cheshire. And I want to thank again Bluebeard, otherwise known as Bill, for joining me on these sets of episodes. It's been fucking fantastic. It's been great. So yeah, please look after yourselves and one another, and we'll see you soon with more videos. Bye for now.